Looking for a new game? Kuldotha Boros is super value, super synergy, and a super low curve to give it the name Super Kuldotha Boros. The deck has long since been a dominant archetype of the format. In the past, splashing blue for Kuldotha Jeskai, but these days absolutely dominating with just red and white. Best of all, the complete Tier 1 deck can be built for only about $50. That's it, $50. No further upgrades needed, and play not only a fun deck, not only a competitive deck, but honestly one of the best decks in Pauper right now. Press start and let's take a look. All prices used in this video will be taken from Card Kingdom. If you want to help this channel out, you can follow our affiliate link posted in the description below and check out these or other cards from Card Kingdom. Even if you don't buy anything, you'll be helping the channel just by visiting via that link. The brothers of this deck are the team of Core Skyfisher and Glinthawk. You'll want a playset of each. Glinthawk is a 2/2 flying for just 1 white, but it comes with a catch. When Glinthawk enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. We're going to turn that catch into a major advantage, as I'll show in just a moment. Skyfisher is very similar, a 2/3 flying for 1 mana of any color and 1 white, with the supposed catch of, when Core Skyfisher enters the battlefield, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. How do we turn these supposed drawbacks into major synergy and card advantage? By stacking our deck full of cards with advantageous enter the battlefield effects. Let's start with a simple one, a playset of Ichor Wellspring. For 2 mana, we draw a card when it enters the battlefield. By returning this to our hand with either the Glinthawk or the Skyfisher, we can now pay 2 again to recast and draw another card. Paying 2 to draw a card sounds a lot like a clue, which we also get when we turn 1 a Thraben Inspector. Of course, we can use the Skyfisher to return the Inspector to our hand, recast for 1 white mana, and get another clue. Early game Inspector swings in, late game Inspector can chump block. Prophetic Prism is another draw a card when it enters the battlefield artifact for 2, and it'll filter our mana as well. Another great target, as are cards like Radiant Fountain and Windscarred Crag for life gain. We even want to mainboard 1 Core Sanctifiers, which, if it was kicked, will destroy target artifact or enchantment when it enters the battlefield. By itself, that's a useful tool on a stick, but being able to bounce it back, there's just so little that can stop us. Going back to the Ichor Wellspring, we'll also draw a card when it hits the graveyard, which is exactly what we want Kuldotha Rebirth to target, giving us not 1, not 2, but 3 1/1 goblin tokens. Obviously, in a pinch, we can target a clue or one of the other artifacts. These goblins, any inspectors, and of course the evasive flyers all make for a nice swing-in on their own. But when combined with Rally the Peasants, which sometimes can even be flashbacked same turn for a double boost, well, that's swing in and win. What else does the deck run? Well, we've got enough artifacts to get Metalcraft for our playset of Galvanic Blast, hitting target creature or player for 4 for only 1 red, and of course a full playset of Lightning Bolt because Lightning Bolt. And just to top things off, a flashbackable Firebolt. Battle Screech is a favorite of mine, a little costly at 2 white and 2 of any color, but look at what it does. We get 2 1/1 white flyers, and this can be flashed back by tapping 3 white creatures. So if we've already got, say, a Thraben Inspector in play, you can cast this turn 4, then tap the Inspector, and tap the 2 flyers it put into play. Remember, Summoning Sickness isn't going to apply here, and then we'll get 2 more 1/1 white flyers that very turn, essentially dropping 4 1/1 white flyers in one go. Value. In terms of removal, we run 2 Journey to Nowhere. Great for the Gurmang Anglers, the Fengren Marauders, and Atogs alike. Best of all, if we use this early and something scarier comes along, we can just bounce the Journey with our Skyfisher and then recast. Always fun when used on our opponent's tokens. The mana base runs, as mentioned, playsets of Windscarred Crag and Radiant Fountain, but also 3 Ancient Den and 3 Great Furnace to help us with Metalcraft, and also as a target for Glinthawk. Heck, miss a land drop, tap Den for 1 mana, play Glinthawk, return Den, then play Den, and you've got another mana at the ready. 2 Boros Garrison, 2 Forgotten Cave, and 2 Secluded Steppe for the option of late game cycling. And yeah, need some more card draw? Bounce one of these back late game with Skyfisher and then cycle it. My goodness, this deck is like a clockwork machine. The sideboard, as always, is somewhat flexible, but most are going to run a full playset of Ancient Grudge. The green for flashback is easy to obtain with your prisms in play, and everything from Affinity to Tron builds will be hit hardest by this. 2 Circle of Protection red for burn and goblin opponents, and it'll also stop fling in Affinity decks. 2 Electrickery for delvers and white tokens alike. 3 Molten Rain for Tron in particular. 2 Standard Bearers, one of the most underrated sideboard cards in Pauper. Amazing to stop things like Mono Black's ridiculous amount of removal. And of course, 2 Pyroblast for playing against blue opponents. Counter that counterspell with 1 red, oh yes. Super Kuldotha Brothers is that rarest of game. Skill-intensive, yet easy to pilot, fun yet highly competitive, top tier, yet the fully upgraded list that I showed here is only about $50. But hey, we're talking Pauper, so there's many other decks for you to choose from. In fact, which Pauper deck would you like to see a tech on next? Let me know in the comments below. And this video has been brought to you in part by a sponsorship from Card Kingdom, as well as the Patreon support of viewers like you. So thank you.
The decks in Vintage Cube are so powerful, but they're often very fragile, right? Like, you might think, I'm gonna go to Sneak Attack, right? I'm gonna have this Signet or 2 in my hand, and you just don't get the mana to get there. Or to Karn, or to something, or Ugin, or one of the Eldrazi, right?
Yeah.
Or they open up a hand that's like Channel and Emrakul, and then you Thoughtseize it. Like, yeah. And then all of a sudden they just have a dead card, right? Like, these like broad disruptive spells are very, very good.